Oh, there's a pick in here. Oh,
Your guitar pick. I put it in there to go with your set.
Oh, you put the guitar pick in here. I see.
Dad, it's your pick.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna tune my guitar first.
I'm gonna show you guys how to get a guitar pick out of your guitar hole. Yeah, it's just very creative. All right. Okay. That's a nice pick. And there it is.
Your guitar pick.
Well, there's somebody. Anybody recognize this pick?
Maybe it's yours.
What? Guess. What is?
Dad,
You don't recognize the pick.
You're the audience, huh?
I'm keeping an eye on you so you'll have courage. Dad, keep going.
Courage is what I need.
Keep going.
Yeah, I mean.
Okay, so okay, who we have in here? Connor, Isaac.
Hey, Isaac.
Yeah.
Mention who's actually in it right now. Otherwise, sometimes there's an effect of like, oh, if no one's there, I'm not going to show up. Or maybe say like 4 of us bros are already in.
Dad, keep going. You can do this.
Oh, what a mystery.
Hey, okay. Christ in you. Christ in me. Hey. No longer I live, but it is Christ.
You want the ball? Are we ready to go?
Dad,
Yes, sweetie.
going.
Okay, sweetie. Put it down. Yes, baby. Ball. Ball. Here you go. I got my kids with me, so things make it a little colorful. Okay, here we go. So first of all, let's do a quick basic guitar lesson. So this is a acoustic guitar. Okay, this is an acoustic guitar. It's acoustic because it's not an electric guitar. So it's not thin, and it doesn't have amplification and a pickup. All right. Also, the strings are metal. The strings are metal. If the strings were nylon, then it would be a classical guitar. But this is a metal string, so that's called an acoustic guitar. Now, acoustic guitar come in, I think, 3 or 4 main shapes, right? This shape is called a classical shape. See? Right? I think it's classical. Most guitars, let's see, Austin, let's see your guitar. Yours look like classical. See your, okay. So Isaac, your guitar, it's what's called a, gosh, I'm just forgetting everything now. It's a dreadnought. So that shape's a dreadnought, and same with yours, Connor. So both those shapes are dreadnought.
Basic.
There's another one, but most guitars are dreadnoughts. Most people own a dreadnought, right? And dreadnoughts are like standard, pretty much standard guitar. They're crafted to be very balanced between the treble, high notes, and the bass, low note. Okay, but some people prefer a different range. So, for example, like a classic guitar. It's not classic. What is this? That's final shape. I want to say it's classic, but not. This shape here, a jumbo something, has more bass than a regular dreadnought would, because on a guitar, your bass comes from here and your treble comes from here. So this is the part of guitar that makes the boom sound. This is the part of guitar that makes the higher pitch sound. Okay. All right. Yes, sweetie. Ball. Yes, ball. Now, of all the guitars you buy, the acoustic guitar is going to be string at the highest tension, right? So it's the string on this. There's a tension between the nut here and the tuners here, and that has the highest tension. An electric guitar has the lowest tension, and then the classical guitar is in the middle. Okay. All right. So real quick, the parts of the guitar. This is called the soundboard, right here. This is probably the most important part of the guitar, the soundboard, because that's where your sound comes from. Okay. And there's always a hole here, and the hole is cut out so that the sound that's happening inside guitar through the soundboard can come out through here. Okay. Then this is the neck of the guitar. This is the neck. These individual things are called frets. They're frets. Okay. And then these are tuners. These are tuners right here. This thing is this little thing right here. Okay. This is called the bridge. This whole thing is called the bridge. And then this little white thing right here, usually plastic for most people. Some people it's made of bone, some made of some kind of other material, but it's usually plastic when you buy a guitar in the shop. That's called the saddle. And the string will come in, go past the saddle, and goes down to a nut. These are nuts, okay? And the saddle is a very important piece because when you pluck a string, okay, there's a vibration when you pluck a string. It's vibrating at a certain frequency with a certain amount of energy. That energy comes down to the saddle, and through the saddle, that energy goes into your soundboard. And that's what makes the sound. So anytime you pluck a string, the energy, the kinetic energy, passes through the saddle into your soundboard to produce a sound. And so obviously you would realize that the quality of your soundboard will determine how your guitar will sound, right? Now, of course, the shape is important. The size, these are the size, and the back, they're also important. They also determine what the sound of the guitar is, but the majority of the sound of your guitar comes from the soundboard. And that's where people will spend their money. Most of the guitar, what's expensive is this piece right here, this front piece called the soundboard. And so the really nice guitar, they're made with really nice wood. And the cheaper guitar, they're not even made with like solid wood. They're made with what's called a laminated wood, okay? Okay, so with acoustic guitars, there are mainly two, there are several materials people use to make guitar, but the two material, mainly two, that are popular. With acoustic, people like spruce, okay? Let's see who's got a spruce here. Let's see, look at you, Adam. Oh, baby, what's up? What's up? Maybe I'll come down here and let him play with the guitar a little bit. Okay, baby. You want to try to make this work? Come here. Tyndale wants in on the action. So let's see. I'm trying to look at yours, Austin. Maybe a little closer, more light. It's really hard to tell. Yeah, it's hard to tell. Okay, so the way you tell is a spruce, which is the preferred wood to make a solid top. It's a light wood. Generally, it's a lighter wood. So when you buy a guitar that's made with a spruce top, it's going to be pretty light. It's almost like between white and yellow, okay? And then a cedar, which is what mine is, okay? It's not as nice as a guitar, as a spruce. And cedar tends to be a little darker. So they're going to be more brown like this. And so for acoustic guitar, you want spruce because spruce gives you a brighter note generally when you play. Whereas cedars gives you a warmer tone. It's not as bright, it's more warm. And so for classical guitars, people prefer cedar, but for acoustic guitar, people prefer spruce. Okay. So this is a cedar. Unfortunately, they went cheap on this guitar. Okay. Also, another thing on guitar, this is called the pick guard right here. Pick guard. The pick guard is to protect your guitar from your pick when you are strumming like this. The pick will invariably come down and scratch the guitar. So most guitar will have a pick guard here. And then the last thing you should know is these are inlaid. These are abalone inlaid, right? And some here, some flowers. And that's optional on guitars. You know, the fancy guitar we have like these kind of inlaid. Yeah, sweetie. No, they're actually called abalone. It's a kind of shell. Yeah. They look like opal. You're right. They do look like opal. Okay. Okay. You should have on your fretboard. You should have some kind of marking on the 1st, 3rd, 5th, and maybe 7th fret, or maybe the 1st, 3rd, 5th, 7th, and 9th fret. And those should let you know quickly what number they are so people can find them really quick. Okay. All right. So that's a little bit about the physical thing guitar. When I buy guitar, what I'm looking for is I'm looking for the soundboard. Then the second thing is you're looking for whether this is a solid piece of wood. Okay. The reason why that's important because a solid piece of wood, supposedly, and I believe this, is through the years as you play the guitar, it will age like kind of like fine wine. Here, baby, come strum this. Come strum here, right here. So with a solid, this is gonna be interesting. I was hoping my wife could babysit right now, but she's busy and unavailable, so I'm stuck with the kids. Okay, Tyndale, what would you like to do, baby? You want to play? You want to rock and roll? Here, like this. That's exhausting. Okay.
I'll continue the lesson, Tino. I'm a pro. Here we go. So first thing, you want to make sure you buy the guitar and buy a nice paint to cover the soundboard. Pink is many people's favorites. Brothers tend to go with a nice bright yellow. So if you haven't done it, I suggest you taking a really coarse sandpaper, rub it on your guitar, and then when you finish doing that, rub some olive oil on the guitar.
Basura.
And then after you finish that, put it out in the sun, let it dehydrate for maybe a week. And then once that's done, bring it back inside and paint it with either the yellow or the pink coat. And then once you finish that, come back next week for another round where we'll discover how to laminate the surface of your guitar.
It'll age like fine wine.
We'll teach you how to burn it. So when you buy a guitar, what I do is I always turn the guitar to the side, like this. I turn it to the side, and I look in here, into this little edge right here in the sound hole, and I try to tell whether that's a solid piece of wood or it's laminated. If it's laminated, you will see 3 layers or 2 layers, kind of like a sandwich. You will see a thin solid wood layer, and you'll see a plywood layer. And that tells you that's laminated, meaning it's cheaply made, right? They didn't use enough wood. They just use a really thin piece of wood, and then they glue that. They hermetically glued it on top of a piece of plywood. Okay, those are considered the bottom, cheapest, most standard guitars that you could buy. Okay, those guitars are fine. They can still sound good. Kind of depends on how it's constructed, but it will never improve as it ages because the glue of the plywood through the plywood will prevent the top thin solid piece of wood to change over time as you play. So you want to look for that. If it is a solid piece of wood, you will see the wood grains continue through that little piece, right? You should be able to see the wood grain go all the way through, and that's how you can tell it's a solid piece of wood. And generally, it's kind of almost impossible to find a solid piece of wood for under, say, $250. Okay, unless you're gonna use guitar. But you know, any guitar you buy that's like under $200, probably gonna be a laminated top, right? And that's fine. If, you know, if people want to get like a beginning guitar for $99, it's gonna be a laminated top. And you know, it's like you buy it, you're not sure you like it or not, you throw it away, you don't waste so much money. You don't want to buy like a $450 guitar and then realize you don't like it. And the guitar is like, you can't take it back to the shop and say, hey, I'm returning this, give me my $450. It won't work that way, right? Then I guess lastly, the only other thing I'll tell you is the guitar has what's called the action. The action is the distance from the string to the soundboard. That's called the action. Okay. So this distance right here, distance from the string to the soundboard is called the action. And the high action, careful baby, it's pokey, careful, oh, pokey, careful, pokey, baby, pokey, careful, pokey, oh, pokey, careful. Yeah, it's pokey. Here, you try this and it's pokey. Just smash my guitar. I may have a cracked guitar. You may witness today the cracking of my degrees. Oh no, my God, don't leave my guitar. Okay, yeah. The action, and the action is really important because the higher the action, 2 things happen. The action determines the amount of volume you get on the guitar. So the higher the action, the louder your guitar is going to be. Okay. The low and also the brighter it's going to be. Okay. The lower the action, the less volume you get on a guitar. What you trade off of volume, you pick up for like warmth. You know, like warmth and tone. So that's one thing about the action. Okay. Then the second thing about the action is the higher the action, the harder it is to play.
Question.
Yeah.
So the action, is it here to here?
Yes. Anywhere from the string, from the from the string, is that tiny little distance from the string to the guitar. That's called the action.
Right here. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, all the way through, from the fret all the way through, you know, the soundboard. That's called the action. A low action means the guitar is very easy to play, and it's going to try not to hurt your finger, okay? Because there's not a lot of tension on it, and so you don't have to push as hard to play on your fingers, okay? And means you usually have a really nice, balanced, warm tone. A high action means the guitar is going to be harder to press down because it's really far away from the fretboard, so you got to really push down. So you got to push down a lot more. It's going to hurt your finger more, and you're going to get that louder sound. The louder sound is not necessarily like a nice sound, right? It's just going to be a louder volume. And so a lot of people, when they buy a guitar, usually when you buy like a cheap $99 guitar, $150 guitar, it's probably going to come with a really high action. Okay, and that, unfortunately, that's one of the reasons why people give up, because they're like, it hurts too much. Well, you kind of got to push through. You'll push through, and you eventually get used to the pain, and you develop callus. But the high action, you know, because it's a cheap guitar, it's high action. Yes, baby. What's that? Okay, we'll go down a little bit. The high action makes it hard to play, right? Because that's just cheap guitars are made with high action. So it's kind of this catch-22. You know, you buy a guitar, it's probably a cheap guitar. It's probably gonna have a high action. It's gonna hurt your finger, and you're probably gonna want to quit. So what a lot of people do is they'll remove. You can take the saddle out. If you remove all the string, which you have to learn how to do so you can change strings, right? So you get like a plier. You loosen your string. You got to loosen your string with the nut. Here, let me turn this thing around. You loosen your string with the nut. I mean, with the tuner. You loosen it. Then you take a plier and you pull out the nuts, and then you can take the strings out, and then you can remove the saddle. And what people would do is they'll actually sand the saddle down. Yes, baby. I'm sorry. What's that? You want to go outside? He wants to go outside. He's going to be that kid that's going to go outside every day. Okay, we'll go outside soon, okay?
So, Tino,
Yes.
people would sand this down, or they sand this down?
They take the saddle, that white piece, you can pull that out easily. It's loose there. It's not glued in. Usually it should be loose.
Okay.
You can take it out, and you just sand it down. They'll sand it down slowly, just a little bit at a time. They'll sand it down. They'll sand it down until it gets to the action they like. The only danger is if you sand it down too much and your action becomes too low, then with low action, you get what's called fret buzz. A fret buzz is when you pluck really hard, you hear that. So I get it going here. So fret buzz is here. Let me do it. So you got thing on a string. I got some time here. You got a finger on a string, and then you hit it. Can you hear that metal? That's called a fret buzz. You hear that? It's like a. Hear that? So it's not a clean sound, meaning your action is too low. So yeah, your guitar is nice to play with. It's not hard on your fingers. But when you strum really hard, you're going to get that fret buzz. If you don't strum hard, you usually won't get it. But when you strum hard, which you may need to do at times, you'll get that fret buzz. Of course, when you're playing a song and you're playing a chord, you're not going to hear it. But, you know, people who know guitar, they'll be able to pick it out when they hear it. Okay. And then lastly, strings. Buying strings is important. Their string comes in light, medium, and heavy. The lighter the string, the lighter the string, the easier it is on your finger, I think. And the heavier the string, the harder it is on your finger. But that just means the thickness of the string. And most acoustic, I think people recommend like light strings, right? So you get a set of light strings. Okay, and then chords. You guys know chords? Austin, you know chords? Connor, do you know all your chords? Some? Isaac doesn't know any chord. He plays the ukulele, so. You need one of these, a capo. You get them on Amazon for like $5-6. Right, you need a cable. And then probably you need a chord book, but you can also look it up online. Like, you know, if you just use your phone, you can look up a chord book. Let's see. I guess if we had like students here that didn't play guitar before, wants to learn, I would teach them a few more things about, you know, how to understand a chord book, like what these strings are. Maybe I teach them how to tune a guitar. D string, E, A, D, G, B, E. How to tune it. What does it sound like when it's in tune? What does it sound like when it's out of tune? And then how to know what a chord is in a chord book, and how to do the fingering according to chord book. I would teach that, and then teach them and then tell them the first chord you should learn would probably be okay. Here's my question for you. What do you think is the first chord a person should learn on guitar? I'm curious what you guys would say.
D.
Isaac
G.
say D. Austin says G. Connor, what do you say?
Definitely F sharp.
Basura. So the first recommended chord to learn on guitar is D. D's first chord. For two reasons. One, because it's just the bottom, right? 3 strings you have to put a finger on. Okay, and the fingers are all close to each other. With a G, they're more spread out, right? And you require more strength. So they don't recommend it yet. They want you to wait till your finger gets stronger. But a D, you can just squeeze. Very much like a fist. You can make a fist. You can do a bunch of D. And then when you strum, you don't have to strum the whole length of the guitar. You're just strumming 4 string. Okay. So in that sense, D is easy. But D is also difficult because you have 3 fingers you got to manipulate close to each other. Okay. And so what happens is the combination of those 2 things actually encourages you to learn D, because you're not trying to stretch your finger way out like this. You just keep it all here. But the dexterity and the manipulation of finger also helps your muscle. So it's a really good beginner chord that forces you to begin to learn how to use these muscles in your finger, and also starts to develop the strengths within, and not making it too hard for you so that you give up. So D is a good beginning chord. Okay, and then what do you think would be chord number 2? And also, a lot of songs have D in it, and so you want D, right? Chord number 2. What would you say, Isaac, would be chord number 2 to learn?
Unlimited minutes. That's what I'm talking about. I have to agree with Connor. I think it's A.
Chord number 2 is A.
If that's what Connor's doing, I think it's A.
Okay. You know, he's the guy that wanted to paint his guitar, right?
And sand it, yeah.
Okay. Austin, what do you think? The second chord you should learn?
Maybe C.
C, maybe C. Okay. So the second chord they recommend you should learn is either a C or a G. Either a C or G. Because now it's the opposite. Now that's where you got to stretch your finger. So with a D, you all bunch up right here. But with a C or a G, you're now spread out more. And so that now helps you develop strength when your hands more stretch out, right? So then these 2 chords kind of do the opposite. One is like bunch up. This one's easy because you just kind of squeeze like a fist. But this is hard because it's not making the fist. You got to spread your finger out, and you got to cover. And so that pretty much kind of develops the 2 motion you need to do guitar: the squeezy kind and spread out kind. Okay?
Tino?
Yeah.
Your C.
Yeah.
What C do you play? This is how I learned a full C.
Well, you're playing what's called a rhythm C. Okay, that's the rhythm C. So if you look in the chord book, a C is going to have 3 fingers on it. Okay, this is called melody C. So like in a band section, you have a melody section, then you have a rhythm section. The melody section is going to play this C. The rhythm section, because they're rhythm, so they're going to want more pop, they add an extra note to it, this string. But to do that, you can't put your finger here, so they rearrange the finger like this. So you got 4 string. That's called a rhythm C. That is not taught in a guitar book. When you buy a guitar book, it's going to teach you a standard C, which is C major, 3 keys, 3 notes. But a lot of brothers learn the rhythm C. They don't even know what it's called, but that's called rhythm C. This is not a C major. This is a rhythm C. Same with a G. When you pick up a guitar book, you're going to learn how to play G with 3 fingers. Now, the fingers will either be like this, or it'll be like this, depending on the guitar book you buy. Some guitar book will tell you both, that you can either play your G like this, same finger, but just different configuration. I mean, same notes, just different finger configuration, or this. You get the G. But a lot of brothers in Guitar Church Live play their G's like this with 4 finger. That is a rhythm G. This is the melody G. This is the standard G major. This is the correct G you should play with, right? Only 3 fingers, right? 1, 2, 3, or this way. 1, 2, 3, right? But most brothers learn this one. It's called rhythm G, which is fine. The difference between a melody G and a rhythm G is that a rhythm G is going to be more full because you're adding an extra bass note. Same with a rhythm C. The difference between a regular C and a rhythm C is you're adding an additional bass note right here. Okay, you add an E, F. Let's see, this is E, F, G. You're adding a G to your scale, right? You're adding a G in there. So you're adding that. So that's what you're learning. But if you pick up a guitar book or if you took guitar lesson, they're not going to teach you that. They're going to say you need to learn your basic first, which is just a melody G. So I don't know if you can tell different. Here's a melody G. Okay, now here's a rhythm G. See, it's got that extra, note down here. That's the treble note. That's the note that gets added in there in a G. Sorry, a regular G is like this. Sorry. Oh, sorry, no. Add this note right here. So that's what you're playing, Connor. The nice thing about a rhythm G is you can switch to rhythm G to like a C, a modified C quickly, right? You can go. What a happy day! Run up the turn away. Right, but the song should be played this way. What a happy day! What a wonderful day! She took my heart from the love of night to the kingdom of light. So there's different ways you can do it. If you have a good ear, you can tell the difference between those 2 ways. Most people, when you play it, they're not going to be able to hear it. So it really doesn't matter, you know. But a lot of brothers in church life learn this, which is fine. Or that one song said, what's it go? Okay, so that, and then of course you have the famous, how's it go? that song? Do you know who wrote the song? There's two ways to play it. You can hear that to D, or you can go here, here, and come up.
Who wrote it?
The wise guy.
Hey, you need a capo.
The Lord Jesus.
What's up? Well, that concludes our Zoom time today.
Wait, who wrote it?
Oh,
Wait.
I think
Donnie
Donnie
Wise.
wrote it.
Oh, wise guy.
This
I get
guy,
it.
he has a gift. He has a gift for writing songs.
You gotta teach us a small song.
Teach you small
Go with
songs.
your Lord.
Wow. Yeah, let's do a song.
Let's do the
Wait.
Christ in me, Christ in you, because that's the same chord the whole through. Song
Wow.
Through.
Okay.
It's just G, D,
Hey, will you move the camera, Tino?
huh?
Move the camera. We can't see your fingers.
That's a fair point.
Capo 3. You want to do
Also,
capo
none of
3?
us have capos.
None of us have capos.
Oh wait,
Oh, okay.
Sam's getting his. Wait,
All right, we'll
Sorry,
do it without capo. We'll just sing it real low, okay? So it's,
wait, hold on. Give me
I
a capo.
told you. You need
Give me a capo, Matt.
Well, if they don't, the other ones have capo. We can't do it capo.
Well, I think Connor and Austin are getting their capos right now. That's why they're left.
Okay.
So we'll get the capo on.
Capo 3.
Capo
Capo 3.
tres. Capo tres. See.
Capo 3.
Hey, how about I not do it and make it to a capo next time?
E minor.
Minor?
So it's E, D, E minor, C. Same thing over and over again. G, D. So think of G, D as in G-O-D, God. G, O-D, God. E minor, D. Okay. Oh, what a victory.
Mystery.
Slower.
Oh, what a victory.
Isaac, can you mute yourself so that we can just
Yeah.
follow
Hold on,
piano?
I got you. Muted.
Okay, so go slow. Oh, what a victory. Christ in me, Christ in you. Oh, what a mystery. Christ in me, Christ in you. Christ is in you, though the body's dead because of sin. The Spirit's light because of righteousness. They know the riches of the glory of this mystery, which is Christ in you, the hope of glory. Test yourself, prove yourself, or do you not realize that Jesus Christ is in you? I am crucified with Christ, and it is no longer I who lives, but it's Christ who lives in me. What a mystery. Christ in me, I love the song. It's one of my favorite all-time songs. I love the song. This song is just awesome dynamite.
Oh yeah.
Whoever.
Poor Connor.
What's up, Connor? You okay, Connor?
Matt's just mentioning he don't have a capo.
He couldn't play because he didn't have a capo.
Okay, so we can play in what we can play in no capo, but just they'll be low. Oh, what a mystery. So G. Oh, what a deep mystery in E minor. Christ in you, and in C. Christ in me. Back to G. Oh, what a victory, D. Christ in you, E minor, Christ in me. So try that, just G, D, E, E minor, C, G, D, E minor, and C. Oh, there's one more thing I tell you guys. So when you strum, your strum, generally, you strum right in the middle here. Okay, that's generally what you strum. But if you strum here or here, it changes the sound. So if you strum here, you're gonna get like a heavier bass sound. If you strum here, you get a higher treble sound. Okay, and here is kind of the middle between the two. So a lot of times what people like to do when they play a song is they'll finish the song by strumming up here. So, you know, like, oh, what a mystery, Christ in you, Christ in me. Oh, what a victory, Christ in you, Christ in me. That kind of like this. So people hear like, oh, that was different. They know, okay, that was the ending. It makes a difference in the sound, so that you let people know, yeah, that this is now different, right? Meaning it's the end of the song. So it's a technique that I use a lot when I play. Is I'll do something and then the last chord. So instead of doing that, I'll go. Or even you can strum from here, going toward that way, so you're transitioning. Right? But it's stark, because when you play here, you can tell different. People know, oh, that must be the end. And you usually do slow, like, right? So that's a common technique I use to kind of end the song. Just you go up there, you just go. Hey, sweetie. Hey, you want outside? You gonna do what? Oh, are you gonna go swimming? Oh, yes. Are you gonna go swimming in the house? Ah,
I was
cool.
thinking we should get like a little pool for our side yard.
Little pool for our side yard.
Because we're gonna need one.
Why?
because
They're all closed until after.
Oh, I see.
and I want to go swimming.
Okay, are you serious? I mean, like how? I mean, what, okay,
No,
go.
right
Come
now.
on, Mama,
I
let's
can look
go.
into one. How about a horse trough? You just baptize her with this one. Javier.
Here we come to my lesson.
Yay.
Yay!
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tino.
Song,
Thanks, Tino.
practice song, capo 3. You have the capo. You could G. You could transpose it to the G transpose to be 1, 2, 3. It's a B. You don't want to go to B.
3 steps. Take the square root of it.
B A 1, 2. That's an A. That's a B flat.
If I wasn't feeling so nice, I would have hung up already.
Playing C.
Are you playing a B flat right now, Tino?
No. Okay, so you can transpose it to without capo. You get close to it playing A. So it'd be 1, 2. Sorry, it'd be A to E, F sharp minor, and then D. Oh, what a mystery. Christ in me, Christ in me. Oh, what a victory. Christ in me, Christ in me. So that's transposed to an A, but that's still gonna be a little low. And then you go to C. The C is slightly high, so you can go oh, what a victory. Christ in me, Christ in C. Oh, what a victory. E minor should be A.
I think we're good, Tino. I think you're just playing with yourself at this point.
I'm leaving.
F sharp.
Bye,
minor.
brothers.
Tino, you don't get a tip for playing longer. You're not paid by the hour. See you, bros.
Okay.
Bye, Tino.
Yeah.